What is going on with y'all, boys? Welcome back to another episode of Rain Kai Everything Sports Podcast. So today we're going to break down just like the college football hopefuls who have a tough road ahead of them. So who's your team, Ryan?
For me, I have number 11 Alabama with a very tough road ahead of them. We're looking this week. They have number 17 Tennessee. Then they've got a bye. Then they're going to play on November 4th. They got to play LSU. Week after, they've got a good Kentucky team. Then they have an easy game against Chattanooga, and they got to play in Jordan Hare against Auburn. This Alabama team has struggled, to say the least. Their road has been rocky. Somehow they've only lost one game so far, but they have some teams that they have not played yet coming up that are better than the teams they've played so far. So I think this Alabama team has a tough road. I have them losing this week to Tennessee. I have them losing in 3 weeks or 2 weeks to LSU. And then I think they'll beat that Kentucky team, but I think it'll be very, very close because if you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have think that Kentucky team is going to beat them. But after seeing them versus Georgia, I think their Alabama team will squeak by them. And then I had them losing to Auburn in Jordan Hare. That Auburn team has shown us something, and we know how they play against Alabama. So if that Alabama team comes in rocky at all, that Jordan Hare atmosphere is gonna hurt them, and that Auburn team is gonna be able to make it by this Alabama team. So I think this Alabama team is gonna go 2-3 down the stretch from now, and I think it's gonna really, really hurt that Alabama fan base because we know how they are with losing. So I think this Alabama team is going to have a lot of struggles. If Jalen Milroe can pull it together and continue to be able to pass the ball like he's been and be able to continue to use his legs and be able to rely on the defense and not turn the ball over, they'll be fine, even though I still think they could lose this week and next week or in 2 weeks to LSU. But I think this Alabama team definitely has one of the toughest roads going forward.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, if Jalen Miro can keep doing what he's doing, I think they would definitely have a shot. But I'm not sure that he can because, especially with that LSU game, with that explosive offense, I mean, they're going to need to score a lot of points. And I'm not sure if Bama with Murray at quarterback has that firepower to do so. And also, I think for sure the two losses. I think that this Tennessee game is going to be close, but I think they'll beat Tennessee. But I think for sure loss to LSU and for sure loss when they play Kentucky as well. I think those two will be losses. I still like this Kentucky team, even though they got destroyed by Georgia. I still like that team a lot, so I think they'll be able to beat Alabama. And like you said, I mean, Auburn and Alabama, huge rivalry game. Probably, I mean, for sure top three in college football. So that's always a tough game and a crazy environment. So they could possibly lose that game as well. So I think that's a great pick. For my team that has a real tough schedule, I have the USC Trojans. They're coming off a very embarrassing loss against Notre Dame, losing 48-20. I mean, just getting blown out. And my biggest concern for them was not the defense. We know that they're bad, but the offense looked really bad, and so did Caleb Williams. And I understand that he's never really had a bad game in college, but whenever like the offense doesn't show up and go crazy, I mean they're in close games where they lose or get blown out. So they play Utah, number 14 Utah, which could be a sticky game just because Utah has a good defense. But the thing is with USC. Even when they play bad offenses, those bad offenses turn into decent offenses because their defense is so bad. So whenever they play a good offense, like they're going to play Washington and Oregon, I mean, those teams are going to put up 35-40 on them easily. And so they play Utah, Washington, Oregon, and UCLA. And I think UCLA is a little bit of a sneaker team. They're 4-2, but they do have a freshman quarterback who's only getting better. So I see USC losing for sure 2 games, but they could possibly lose 4. Really, they could. So I just see Utah or USC having a really tough road ahead of them.
At first glance, I thought that Utah team would beat USC, but I don't think they're going to just because that Utah offense is not good. I mean, they only put up 14 points against LSU, and one was on defense. So they really only put up – against UCLA, and one was on defense. So I don't think
the
they'll
have – the game.
Huh?
He had a pick six the first play of the game. So they really only scored 7 points.
That's what I'm saying. So then I feel like that Utah team isn't going to be able to score enough points. And Caleb Williams is going to, I think, have a better game than last week for sure, coming back off that bad loss. So I think that they will lose to Washington. I think they will lose to Oregon. I don't think that either of those games will be close. I think they'll be kind of how it was against Notre Dame. And then I think that UCLA game they're also going to lose. I think that UCLA team's defense is a lot better than people are really giving them credit for. And I think that their offense is starting to pull it together at the right time. So I think UCLA will hold Caleb Williams to another game similar to Notre Dame, and it'll be more of like a 24-20 UCLA game.